Here's what manipulation looks like today. Most manipulation today doesn't look like manipulation at all. It looks like care, concern, love, good intentions. And most people don't see it until they've already lost control. Your boss says, "I know you're busy, but could you help with this? You're the only one I trust." You feel valued, important, chosen. So you say yes. Even though you're already overloaded, that wasn't respect. That was manipulation. They made you feel special so you would do more without asking why. That trust only appears when they need something. Your partner says, "If you loved me, you'd understand why this bothers me." You feel guilty, so you apologize, even though you did nothing wrong. That wasn't honesty. That was manipulation. They used love to control your behavior. Your friend says, "Everyone's going. You're really going to be the only one who doesn't show up?" You feel pressure, so you cancel your own plans. That wasn't an invitation. That was manipulation. This happens everywhere, at work, in relationships, in families, online. Because manipulation does not announce itself. It hides behind care, concern, friendship, love, good intentions. Someone says, "I'm just worried about you." Translation, "I want control over your decisions." Someone says, "After everything I've done for you." Translation, "I want you to feel indebted." Someone says, "You're being too sensitive." Translation, "I want you to doubt yourself." These are not accidents. They are tactics. And they work because you were trained to question yourself before you question other people. Social media made it worse. Someone posts, "Some people really show their true colors." You message them, "Are you talking about me?" Now you're anxious. Now you're defending yourself. Now they have your attention, your concern, your energy. That is manipulation. Your coworker says, "Wow, leaving right at 5. Must be nice." You feel judged, so you stay late, even though your work is done. They didn't ask you to stay. They manipulated you into staying by making you feel guilty for having boundaries. Someone cancels on you last minute. Again, you're frustrated. They say, "I thought you'd understand." Suddenly you feel bad for being upset. So you say it's fine, even though it isn't. They didn't apologize. They manipulated you into accepting disrespect. Here's the pattern. Manipulators make you doubt yourself. They make you feel guilty for boundaries, selfish for saying no, wrong for trusting your instincts. And slowly, you stop trusting yourself. You start looking to them for permission, for approval, for validation. That's when they have control. Not because they are stronger, because they trained you to abandon your own judgment. Marcus Aurelius dealt with this too. Advisors wanted influence, senators wanted favors, family wanted special treatment. So he built something they couldn't penetrate, a Stoic Shield. Not aggression, not drama, just immunity. So tell me in the comments, which tactic hits you most? Guilt, pressure, silence, fake concern, or self-doubt? Stay until the end, because I'm going to show you how to build this shield, spot manipulation faster, and become much harder to control. Let me show you how deep this goes. You're in a relationship. Every time you raise a real issue, they cry. Not always because they're hurt, because crying shifts the conversation. Now you're comforting them instead of addressing the problem. You bring it up again. They get angry. Why do you always bring up the past? Now you are the problem. Not because you were wrong, because you refuse to stay quiet. You try one more time. They go silent. For days. Until you apologize for bringing up what needed to be addressed. Different reaction. Same tactic. Same goal. make you stop having needs, stop having standards, stop expecting better. Your family does this too. You say, "I can't make it." They answer, "Family is supposed to be there for each other." Translation, your boundary is selfish. Then they say, "Your grandmother will be so disappointed." Translation, now you are responsible for someone else's pain. That is not family support. That is manipulation disguised as family values. At work, it gets subtler. Your manager says, "I need someone who's really committed to this team." Right after you ask to leave on time. Now your commitment is under suspicion. If you leave, you feel disloyal. If you stay, you betray yourself. So you stay. That is manipulation. They made staying feel morally superior. Social media does the same thing. Someone posts, "Real friends check in." You haven't texted them in a week. Now you feel guilty. So you reach out first. They got what they wanted without saying it directly. Here's what's really happening. You are being manipulated constantly by people who claim to care, by systems that reward compliance, by social norms that punish boundaries. And the worst part? The best manipulation never feels like force. It feels like your choice, your guilt, your responsibility. The manipulator doesn't even have to become the villain, because you become your own villain, questioning yourself, blaming yourself, silencing yourself. If you've ever felt crazy for questioning something that felt wrong, subscribe, because you are not weak and you are not broken. You are dealing with tactics. And once you can see the tactics, they start losing power. Here's how to build the Stoic Shield. First principle, name the tactic. Manipulation loses power when you recognize it. After everything I've done for you. That's guilt manipulation. You're too sensitive. That's gaslighting. Silent treatment, that's emotional punishment. I'm just joking. That's deflection. The moment you name the tactic, you stop drowning in the emotion it was designed to create. Now you are observing, and manipulation works best on people who react. My manager used to say, "I thought you were more of a team player than this." Old me felt guilty and stayed late. New me names it. That's loyalty manipulation. Then I respond, "I'm happy to discuss priorities. Which tasks should I deprioritize to take this on?" Not emotional, not defensive, just clear. And clarity is hard to manipulate. Second principle, separate their emotion from your responsibility. Someone being upset does not automatically make you guilty. Someone being disappointed does not automatically make you wrong. Their emotion is information, not instruction. A friend once looked hurt whenever I couldn't meet up. Old me would cancel my plans. New me says, "I understand you're disappointed. I'm still not available that day." They can be upset. I can still say no. Third principle, respond to facts, not feelings. Manipulators use emotion to bypass logic. Someone says, "You never make time for me." Say, "I saw you 3 times this month. What specific change are you asking for?" Someone says, "If you really cared, you'd do this." Say, "I care. This request still doesn't work for me." Facts create structure. Emotion creates openings, so stay with facts. Fourth principle, accept discomfort. Manipulation depends on your discomfort. They create guilt, silence, awkwardness, fear. Then teach you that compliance is the fastest relief. Break that pattern. Silent treatment. Be okay with silence. Guilt. Be okay with temporary guilt. Rejection. Be okay with that discomfort too. Because short-term discomfort is cheaper than long-term control. A family member once used silence as punishment. It worked for years. Then I stopped chasing. They went silent. I stayed calm. Eventually, they reached out. Not because I won, because the tactic stopped working. Fifth principle, trust your perception. Manipulators survive by making you distrust yourself. You're overreacting. That's not what happened. You're remembering it wrong. All designed to make your reality unstable. If something feels off, pay attention. If something feels manipulative, pay attention. Even if you can't prove it yet. Your perception is data. I once had a work situation that felt wrong before I could explain why. Instead of dismissing it, I documented everything. 2 months later, the pattern became obvious. Your perception is not a flaw. It is an early warning system. Sixth principle. Set consequences, not ultimatums. Ultimatums try to control them. Consequences protect you. Someone keeps canceling last minute? Say, I need reliability. If plans are made, I need them kept. Then, if it continues, you stop making plans. Not as punishment, as protection. Final principle. Be willing to lose the relationship. This is the ultimate shield. Manipulators win because they know you are afraid to lose them. The moment you become willing to lose the relationship, their leverage collapses. I had a draining friendship. Every boundary became proof that I was selfish. Then I stopped being afraid of losing them. So when they said, a real friend would, my answer became, maybe I'm not the friend you need then. No panic, no defense, no chase, just peace with the outcome. That is the Stoic Shield. Not aggression, not coldness, just immovable clarity. Final truth. You cannot manipulate someone who is okay with losing you. You cannot guilt someone who can tolerate discomfort. You cannot gaslight someone who trusts their perception. You cannot control someone who answers pressure with calm facts. Build the shield. Name the tactics. Trust yourself. Accept discomfort. Set consequences. Be willing to walk away. And watch how quickly manipulation loses its grip. Not because people stop trying, because you stop being reachable. That is the Stoic Shield. And once you have it, you are free.